Hey there, fellow coders. Welcome to Code Master Quest. I hope you are having a fantastic day because we are going to dive into another exciting problem. In this session, we are going to tackle the problem of running some of one-dimension arrays. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get our code on. Read the problem statement. Given an array null, we define a running sum of an array as this equation. For index number I, we should return the summation over index number 0 up until index number I in the input, right? And at the end, we should return the running sum of nums. Let's consider this input as example 1, right? If we had an array like 1, 2, 3, and 4, we should return this output, right? So why this should be happen? Because based on the equation, for index number 0, we need to make a summation over index number 0 up until index number 0, which is just one value, 1, right? So for index number 0, we should have 1. But for index number 1, we should make the summation over index number 0 up until index number 1, which is equal to 1 and 2, and the result would be 3. For other indexes, we are going to calculate the same thing. Now let's change to Visual Studio Code and try to solve this question. Let's define our function running sum, and then define the input for this function, which is going to be an array of integer, right? And then the return value, which is going to be from type of array of integer again. And now we have our function definition. Okay, now if we want to split this solution into simpler steps, first of all, we need to store the return value somewhere. So let me try to define an array of integer running sum, which is going to be empty at the beginning. Then we need to initialize a variable to store the current sum, right? So let's say current sum, which is equal to 0. And then we need to make an iteration over the input nums and then appending the result at each step. So let's say for num in nums, let increment current sum by the value of num, and then append the existing value for current sum to the running sum, right? So running sum, append current sum, and at the end we need to return running sum. Okay, so here's our implementation for this question. Let me save it, and to make sure everything is working correctly, let me switch to the browser, copy this example from the browser, and come back to Visual Studio Code. To make sure everything is working correctly, let me paste it here and store it somewhere. And then I want to call this function for this input, running sum for input nums. And since it's going to return an array of integer, let's store it somewhere. Let result equal to this one, and then print the results, right? In this way, we can make sure that everything is working correctly. As you can see here, if I run this Swift file, I should return, exact same value that we had from the browser, 1, 3, 6, and 10. Now, if we come back to the browser, 1, 3, 6, and 10. And to make sure everything is working, we can submit this solution to LeetCode as well. Make sure to copy this code, come back to the browser, paste it here, and then hit the the submit button. Let me submit it, and then this should be solved. Okay, perfect. The question is solved and everything is looking good.